This is Deuteronomy 9. Moses finished the last chapter saying, if you forget God, you'll perish. Just in case they're not taking him seriously, he's going to tell them how close they've come to perishing already. Verse 1. Hear, Israel, you are to pass over the Jordan today to go in to dispossess nations greater and mightier than yourself, cities great and fortified up to the sky, a people great and tall, the sons of the Anakim, whom you know, and of whom you have heard say, who can stand before the sons of Anak? Know therefore today that Yahweh your God is he who goes over before you as a devouring fire. He will destroy them, and he will bring them down before you. So you shall drive them out and make them perish quickly, as Yahweh has spoken to you. Don't say in your heart, after Yahweh your God has thrust them out from before you, saying, for my righteousness Yahweh has brought me in to possess this land. Because Yahweh drives them out before you because of the wickedness of these nations, not for your righteousness or for the uprightness of your heart do you go in to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations Yahweh your God does drive them out from before you, and that he may establish the word which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Comment, Yahweh says, don't think I'm giving you the land by your righteousness. And he says to us, don't think I saved you by your righteousness. Quote, not by works of righteousness which we did ourselves, but according to his mercy he saved us. Titus 3:5. The two real reasons he's giving them the land are A, the current inhabitants are wicked, and B, the giving of the land will establish his word to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now Moses is going to spend the rest of the chapter proving they're not righteous. Verse 6. Know therefore that Yahweh your God doesn't give you this good land to possess for your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember and don't forget how you provoked Yahweh your God to wrath in the wilderness. From the day that you left the land of Egypt until you came to this place, you have been rebellious against Yahweh. Also in Horeb you provoked Yahweh to wrath, and Yahweh was angry with you to destroy you. Comment. He's going back now to the time they came within a hair of being destroyed at Mount Horeb. They heard Yahweh deliver the 10 Commandments with their own ears, including the part about not making any idols, Deuteronomy 20, verse 4. They agreed to the covenant, Exodus 24:3. Then Yahweh told Moses to go up on the mountain to receive the 10 Commandments, Exodus 24:12. Now Moses tells what happened from there, verse 9. When I had gone up onto the mountain to receive the stone tablets, even the tablets of the covenant which Yahweh made with you, then I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I neither ate bread nor drank water. Comment, after no bread and water for 40 days and nights, verse 10, Yahweh delivered to me the 2 stone tablets written with God's finger. On them were all the words which Yahweh spoke with you on the mountain out of the middle of the fire in the day of the assembly. It came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that Yahweh gave me the 2 stone tablets, even the tablets of the covenant. Yahweh said to me, arise, get down quickly from here, for your people whom you have brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have quickly turned away from the way which I commanded them. They have made a molten image for themselves. Furthermore, Yahweh spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Leave me alone that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under the sky, and I will make of you a nation mightier and greater than they. Comment, that was how close they were to being destroyed. But notice how Yahweh worded that to Moses. He said, leave me alone that I may destroy them. When Moses heard that, he saw a little crack in the door. He knew it was up to him not to leave Yahweh alone, but to pray that he wouldn't destroy them. So Moses was still on the mountain with the tablets in his hand when Yahweh told him they had already broken the 2nd commandment by making a molten image. Now Moses is about to go down and see it for himself. Verse 15. So I turned and came down from the mountain, and the mountain was burning with fire. The 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. I looked, and behold, you had sinned against Yahweh your God. You had made yourselves a molten calf. You had quickly turned away from the way which Yahweh had commanded you. I took hold of the 2 tablets and threw them out of my 2 hands and broke them before your eyes. Comment, the breaking of the first set of tablets remind us that man's not able to keep the law. The giving of the 2nd set of commandments reminds us there was nothing wrong with the first set. The law is good. We must consent to it the same way Israel consented to it when they ratified it one and all, Exodus 24:3. The law is good. We all have to agree with that. The problem is with man. Coming up, Israel was so close to destruction that Moses had to do the following. After being on the mountain 40 days and nights without eating or drinking, verse 18, I fell down before Yahweh as at the first, 40 days and 40 nights. I neither ate bread nor drank water because of all your sin which you had sinned in doing that which was evil in Yahweh's sight to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure with which Yahweh was angry against you to destroy you. But Yahweh listened to me that time also. Comment, that's how close it was. Yahweh was so resistant to changing his mind that Moses about had to move a mountain to get him to relent. Verse 18, it took another straight 40 days and nights fasting without bread or water on the heels of a different 40-day fast that he had just been on. Who else is Israel going to find to pray for them like that? During that second 40-day period, Yahweh did agree not to annihilate Israel, but he was still so angry that he said, if I would go up with them for one moment, I would consume them. In subsequent prayer at the tent of meeting, Moses convinced Yahweh to go up with them, which meant that Yahweh would have to restrain his anger during the entire march to the Promised Land, Exodus 33:5. So they were within a hair's breadth the entire time of being destroyed. But back to the incident of the golden calf, verse 20. Yahweh was angry enough with Aaron to destroy him. Comment, Aaron was the one who organized the making of the golden calf. Going on, I prayed for Aaron also at that same time. I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burned it with fire and crushed it, grinding it very small until it was fine as dust. I threw its dust into the brook that descended out of the mountain. At Taberah and at Massa and at Kibroth Hattaavah, you provoked Yahweh to wrath. Comment, after Sinai, they complained at a place called Taberah. The text doesn't mention any specific complaints. It seems they were just complaining in general. Then, quote, Yahweh's fire burned among them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp, end quote. Taberah means burning, Numbers 11:3. Massa was a place before they got to Sinai where they had no water. They almost stoned Moses, and they asked, is Yahweh among us or not, Exodus 17. Kibroth Hattaavah was a camp after Sinai where the people lusted exceedingly for the foods of Egypt. They wept every man at the door of his tent, Numbers 11:10, which made Yahweh angry. He sent quail, but he also sent a very great plague. Kibroth Hattaavah means graves of desire. May we not fall into a grave of desire. Now for another ignominious deed of national unrighteousness, verse 23. When Yahweh sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, go up and possess the land which I have given you, you rebelled against the commandment of Yahweh your God, and you didn't believe him nor listen to his voice. You have been rebellious against Yahweh from the day that I knew you. So I fell down before Yahweh the 40 days and 40 nights that I fell down, because Yahweh had said he would destroy you. Comment, Moses knows that Yahweh has restrained his anger the entire time only because he was there to pray for them, but he can only imagine what's going to happen now that he's about to die. Moses foreshadowed Christ, but unlike Moses, Christ isn't going to die and leave us without an intercessor. Quote, he is also able to save to the uttermost those who draw near to God through him, seeing that he lives forever to make intercession for them. Hebrews 7:25. So Moses is in the middle of telling about the time they refused to enter the land. Yahweh told Moses there, quote, I will strike them with pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of you a nation greater and mightier than they, end quote. So they were at the brink of extinction again, but here's what Moses did. Verse 26, I prayed to Yahweh and said, Lord Yahweh, don't destroy your people and your inheritance that you have redeemed through your greatness, that you have brought out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Don't look at the stubbornness of this people, nor at their wickedness, nor at their sin, lest the land that you brought us out from say, because Yahweh was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he has brought them out to kill them in the wilderness. Yet they are your people and your inheritance, which you brought out by your great power and by your outstretched arm. Comment: This ride with Israel's been like some kind of horror movie where Moses knew how close they were to destruction and the people had no idea. That's the chapter. It reminds me of Jonathan Edwards' 1741 sermon, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, where he spoke of men dangling over the fires of hell by a mere string that was in danger any minute of being singed. On the one hand, that's true, but on the other, Christ, quote, is able to save to the uttermost those who draw near to God through him. Hebrews 7:25. See you for Deuteronomy 10 at landofhavilah.net. Deuteronomy 10.